Well, we are towards the end actually of our study of the 12 spiritual powers, one of Unity's teachings by our co-founder Charles Fillmore. And just as a reminder, our 12 spiritual powers or abilities, which are also here on our wall, are all of our attributes, our qualities within us that make up our divine identity. Of course, we can overuse them, we can underuse them, and hopefully we'll use them in balance. That's what we're all striving towards. We can meditate on them. We can use them as affirmations. We can focus on that part of our body or that color, and that will help us really bring them or activate them in our lives. Each of these spiritual powers, of course, has an area in the body it's related to or corresponds with, as well as a color and a disciple. So today we are talking about the two spiritual powers or abilities of release, elimination, and zeal, our joy. So, hence the orange, everybody. Yes. Joy. You got it too. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and we'll jump right in. Release. This is the only time you're going to see rust on a slide, everyone. So, release, to eliminate, to let go of, to remove, to deny, to say no to. When we're having our healthy boundaries and we say no, won't you come to this party, and you want to say no, but you say yes. But when we say no, thank you, that's actually using our spiritual power quality of release. I'm going to release that because that's not going to serve me right now. So whenever we let go of something, say it's time to eliminate this, cleaning out our closets, that's our release. The color is rust. The body is the lower part of the abdominal region. Now, when I teach this to teenagers, that's the part where they all laugh. I'll give you permission as well. The disciple is Thaddeus. In Greek, Thaddeus means courageous. And don't we have to be courageous to let go of those things that don't serve us any longer? We have to be courageous to let go of what we thought the plan was. We have to be courageous to let go of maybe a family member, a relationship, a job, a mortgage, right? We have to be courageous. So it makes sense that Thaddeus, whose name in Greek means courageous, would be the disciple. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, who was the dean of the Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute and has many books on metaphysics. He's our expert in metaphysics, but also he has a 12 Powers book called Power Up. And he has a great exercise in there that I wanted to introduce to all of you. He says, when you think of the word no, N-O, now say the word, we're all going to say it together. Ready? We're going to say the word no. No. Now think of the word K-N-O-W. Say that word. No. No. They sound the same, don't they? And yet we have a challenging time a lot of times saying the word N-O, no. Instead of when we know we need to change and say no. Here's what he says. He says, if you know why you want or need to say no to something, it's a whole lot easier to say it. Yeah. That's a great summary of the power of elimination and how it helps us really move into more joy into our life. Because once we can say, I know I need to say no, then we can let it go, and then in that we have more room for joy. That also, you can hear in there that wisdom that we talked about last week, right? I'm listening to that intuitive wisdom within me that says, I know that I need to say no. So that's the first power we're looking at today. And the second is zeal. Here's the definition of zeal. Orange, to be enthusiastic and passionate, to be motivated or to motivate, to start, to inspire or to be inspired. So when we inspire others or when we get really inspired by something or someone, this is when zeal, that power of joy is coming into our lives and we're activating that color orange. In the body, it's in the brainstem right here. That makes sense, right? Because when we get really joyful, right, we get all these ideas sparking, don't we? Get all this happy energy happening back here. The disciple is Simon, also known as Simon the Zealot. So there you go, zeal. Of course, our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, said at the age of 93, and I feel like, we have Oprah. She's not here today. Oprah. Opal. Oprah is not with us today either. She's in Santa Barbara. Couldn't make it today. But Opal, she is 100 years old. She's going to be 101 in November. And so she reminds me of this same quote from our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. Charles Fillmore said this at the age of 93. "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me." At 93 or 100, this is the enthusiasm behind zeal, right? That idea that I can do anything no matter what my age is. Yeah. So here's also in that book what Reverend Paul Hasselbeck encourages us to do is to think about a couple things right now that you really enjoy doing. Just think, what are a couple things that you really, really enjoy doing? What gives you joy? Got a couple things? Now think of maybe people or things that inspire you. Who or what inspires you? Think of those things. Now I want you to think of your strengths because you are a divine expression of the one power and presence. So don't tell me you don't have a strength or a gift. What is your strength and gifts? What do you joyously bring to the world? What do others joyously receive from you? And now you take all of your answers here, and as you reflect on them, realize that these are the things that really empower that spiritual ability of zeal within you. It's when you're engaged in these things and with these people that create that motivation, that inspiration, and the enthusiasm in your life. And so that's good to know. That's good to reflect upon. What is it that helps activate this spiritual ability of zeal within me? Yeah, it's those things you've just thought about that bring you joy and inspire you and motivate you, and the gifts that you bring to others that do the same for them. So like our other spiritual powers that we've been studying, of course, these two really go hand in hand because you have to eliminate and let go in order to make room for your joy. You have to have a clearing out of what is no longer serving in order to have room for the joy. If I have closed hands and you're trying to give me a gift, it's really hard for me to receive it, isn't it? Yeah. But if I have open hands, I can receive it more easily. Here's something else that came to me this week as I was thinking about this idea. So oftentimes, just like our meditation, we have these rocks in our life, right? These heavy things that have just been sitting inside of us. Maybe they're old habits, maybe they're old beliefs, maybe they're unkind thoughts about ourselves. And sure, if the water is joy, we can fit the joy in there around all the rocks, can't we? And yet, when we get rid of the rocks, when we let go of all those things that are weighing us down, look how much more room we have for the joy in our life. Yeah, we have to let go in order to have more. It's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? So how do we let go? Well, in Unity, we teach affirmations and denials. Now, a lot of us don't like the denial part of it because it's not very fun. We just want to get right to the affirmations because affirmations are joy. But again, we need the denial before the affirmation. The denials, we're not denying that something has happened, but we're denying its power over us. We're denying the idea that it's going to ruin our life. Psychological denial is refusing the facts. But spiritual denial is about reminding ourselves of that feelings and facts are fleeting. We're not denying or pretending that the pain's not there. We're not denying or pretending that life circumstances aren't happening. But what we are doing is that we're holding on to the spiritual truth. As we deny, again, we can create then more joy. Because first we eliminate the self-sabotaging thoughts, the self-destructive thoughts, the self-destructive feelings and beliefs that we're holding on to, so that our challenges, we don't give them a resting place, but instead we acknowledge and then let go to make more room. There's a great example of this in Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett's book, How to Pray Without Talking to God. You see, it's my favorite, right? Like how many... Let's see if I can get the right page since I've got like half the book marked. But she talks about this idea. She said, that one day her kitchen sink was clogged. And so she thought, well, what if I put, something in there that will help loosen it up? I'll put a bunch of ice cubes in there. And then the water just kept rising. And she's like, well, what if I put some lemons in there? So she dumped some lemons in there and she said, well, now I have lemon soup. And she said nothing would allow the sink to drain. And then eventually she realized she had to remove the blockage, not by pushing it through, but by pulling it out to clear the drain. She says, when our minds are congested with unconscious assumptions and limited beliefs, repeating affirmations is like adding ice cubes and lemons to a clogged sink. Do you see? You have to get underneath first to what's the feeling and the thought, and let me now pull that out before I can put the affirmation on top of it. So she says, first we must clear away the mental congestion. This is the value of denial. Spiritual denial, also called release or renunciation, is disidentification with, elimination of thoughts and beliefs that we realize are contrary to spiritual truth. That's right here on this slide. So what do spiritual denials sound like? Here's some examples. The origin of my life is not my body or my circumstances. I am not my conditions. Nothing can take over my divine identity. That's by Reverend Linda. Another one would be, I refuse to dwell upon my physical pain or give it any importance. I give no power to a fleeting condition. I really spoke into that last week, didn't I? And then from our Rise into Your Power cards, our 12 power cards, this great affirmation, or denial that sounds like an affirmation. I gently release one troubled thought at a time like a tree dropping its leaves. I release the past to make room for today's good. Do you see how the denial is so important? In order to do the elimination, the releasing, the pulling the clogged drain first before you put the affirmation of the ice cubes and lemons on top. There's a great quote by Buddha on this next slide here. It says, we are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves. When the mind is pure, meaning, again, we need to excavate, let go of the limiting beliefs, thoughts about ourselves or our lives first, so that the joy can come in and follow. So we can choose an unhelpful thought or action and make the decision to release it. So that's what we're going to do today for our first half of our ceremonies today. So you were given a very special piece of paper. It's got magical properties. Did everyone, if you didn't get a piece of paper, just raise your hand and our ambassador will come along. So we've got a couple up here front too, Liz. But what you're going to do is on this next slide, and our music team will be singing, so don't feel like you have to jump into this quickly, because I really want you to just take a moment to breathe and meditate on this. But you're going to write something on that piece of paper that you would like to release, something that has been unhelpful, and a limited thought maybe, a belief, an action, something that's getting in the way of you expressing and experiencing your full joy. And then once you have that written down, you're going to come up and place it into the bowl of water and watch it as it dissipates. You're going to watch it as it goes back into the oneness, the allness that it is. It is no longer serving you. So we're going to have our music team come up and sing a song. And they're going to just continue to sing and chant until everyone is done with dissolving their paper. So if everyone is ready, we will have our song. And if you need more paper, we do have more paper, right, Liz? And I know Lynn, we have some in the office as well. So feel free to write on the front and back. But if you do want another piece of paper, go ahead and raise your hand. I also want to say for those watching at home, or if you get home later and you realize I have more to release, something that you can also do, I know it sounds strange, but you can take a toilet paper square and write on it and then flush it down and away. That's another way you can release it. So get it all out now, but also know that there's another way you can do this when you're at home as well. So allow them to sing to you, and when you're ready and you feel complete with your paper, come on up and you can dissolve it in our water when you're ready to let go.
And you're welcome to join us. I allow, I surrender, I allow, I surrender, I allow, I surrender, I allow, I surrender, I allow, I surrender.
Let's just sing that together one last time. Here we go. Ready?
I surrender. I receive. I let go.
I allow, I surrender.
Let's do that again.
I allow, I receive, I surrender. I let go.
Wow, that's right. Let's all say that. Wow. Take a breath, everyone. Now you have more room to acknowledge and experience the joy. So I know there may be some heaviness of having to excavate, right, and bring it up. So one more breath. Here we go. And let it out. One more time. Here we go. And feel yourself and visualize yourself being more open. Do you see the openness, the lightness? Feel the joy that is creeping in right now. From our Rise cards, there's a great affirmation. I greet each day with energy and enthusiasm. And so that's what we're going to start bringing in. I greet each day with energy and enthusiasm. From the writer Henry Nowen, it says, joy does not simply happen to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing it every day. See, it's not when this happens, then I will be joyful or experience joy. The path itself is joy. It's a spiritual practice to choose joy. So we open up and we make room for it, and then we choose it along the path every day. So here's where those bells come in, because I know you've all been excited about this. I'll grab my bell too. You know, I was thinking about how can we exemplify joy. Now, first I was actually going to give you all those confetti poppers, but then I thought it might be messy and someone might poke their eye out. So I went with bells. And bells came to me, I think, because if we think of Christmas time, Christmas, we have the ringing of the bells and that joy. In the Hindu faith, they ring a small bell before they sit for puja, for the act of worship. And so I'm going to encourage you to ring the bell of joy, to celebrate yourself, to remind you of the joy that you are actively cultivating in your life, that you're actively creating in your life. I want it to be a reminder to you to celebrate yourself and your life and the joy that you're choosing every day. To let it be an act of worshiping, honoring yourself. So I'm going to invite you right now to think of something that you currently have in your life that brings you a lot of joy. And when you have that, start ringing your bell. Okay. Next, everyone, I want you to think about something about yourself that you feel brings yourself and others joy. Something about yourself that brings you or others joy. And when you got that, ring your bell. Oh, I'm waiting for everyone to ring their bell. You hear that? Okay. I'll place them down. I'm going to ask you to think of a challenging situation in your past that you have overcome. Oh, Rhonda was right there. Okay. Oh, get a couple more bells to Rhonda. Okay. Yeah, you have overcome something. Celebrate it. And now think of something in your life that you are celebrating. What is something right now in this moment that you are celebrating? And when you have that, ring your bell. Yeah. They just sound joyful, don't they? It just sounds so lovely and beautiful. So let the joy you carry within you, you have the joy, you have that zeal innately within you. It's there. Sometimes there's some heavy rocks covering it up, but it is there. And so let the joy that you carry within you remind you of your divine gifts. Let the joy that you carry within you allow you to live your life more fully and full of zeal. Let the joy you carry within you remind you that you have transcended the limits and challenges of your past. And let the joy that you carry within you allow you to focus on even more joy for your future as you move forward. So one more time we get to ring our bell. Here's an affirmation for us. Not yet. Settle down, everybody. Okay. I'm so excited, though, that you're excited about your bells. Good. Let me read it first here. I greet each day with energy and enthusiasm. I am divine joy, expressing in all areas of my life as zeal, and we're going to say it with joy and enthusiasm, aren't we? Here we go, everyone. Ready? I greet each day with energy and enthusiasm. I am divine joy, expressing in all areas of my life as zeal. Yes, you are. I wish you all could see all of you up here, like just so happy, ringing your bells. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. So this week, I invite you to continue to look at areas in your life that you want to, there's limiting thoughts, beliefs, habits that you're ready to let go of, that are not supporting the life you want, and then release it. And then actively pursue and choose joy. And when you do, you're going to ring your bell. Okay? Have a beautiful, blessed week, everyone. Blessings.